Chain waxing is all the rage now, and for good reason. Ditching the chain oil gives you a spotless and silent drivetrain in all conditions, and reduced friction will also make you go faster on the bike. As I showed you in my previous waxing video, waxing your chain can also save you a lot of money in the long run. But there is no getting away from the fact that preparing the chain for waxing is a time-consuming process that keeps many people away from converting to wax-based lubricants. The degreasing of the chain involves using multiple solvents and also shaking the chain clean at least 4 to 5 times. The whole process of waxing at home also has a bit of DIY to it. Firstly, you will need to buy a crock pot, which is actually meant for cooking, just in order to melt the wax. And then when you want to cool your chain down after waxing it, you would need to first find a wall you don't care a lot for, and then put a hook in it where you can hang your chain. But with this new product, Cyclowax wants to put an end to all this. For 219 euros, you will get this so-called clean chain starter kit. That includes your pre-waxed chain of choice, which in my case is a SRAM Red Axis 12-speed chain. Cyclowax has removed all oil from this chain and waxed it before shipping it out. The kit includes one wax tablet in the Performance Pro version. Cyclowax claims this tablet is good for 8 rewaxes, which translates to up to 3,200 kilometers of riding. They also offer a cheaper so-called basic wax tablet composed of the same wax but without the additives to reduce friction further. In this little envelope we find a hang-up tool, which the chain is threaded onto. A protection mat is also included, which you will use under your heater. Then you have one of the probably most detailed instructions I have ever seen for a bike product. Later in the video I'll put these steps into practice. Next up is the cleaning kit, also coming with instructions. You get a degreaser, an alcoholic cleaner, a microfiber cloth, a brush and a string, all designed for cleaning your dirty drivetrain before installing your clean waxed chain. Last but not least, we have the heater itself. It comes with a nice long power cable and uses a dial to turn it on. You also have the stand from which you will hang the chain after waxing. Now it's time to open the kit and use the supplied cleaning gear to clean out the whole drivetrain. So as you can see, my drivetrain is pretty dirty after using oil for some weeks when doing races with my team. I'm now gonna remove my chain, but I have lost my quick link tool, so I will use that opportunity to show you a little trick I learned recently. So what you want to do is just slack the chain, hold the cage with your foot like this, then take the quick link you want to open, put it like this, and then you just want to hit it with something. In my case it's some pliers. Hit on the top like that, so that it knocks it loose, and then your chain will be really easy to just take off. So after the chain is removed, I'm ready to put the cleaning kit to the test. The first step would be to cover the chainrings, cassette and pulley wheels with a supplied degreaser. Then I'm using the brush, which actually looks to be a nail brush, to remove the dirt. The cleaning string from the kit did a great job of getting into the tight spaces of the cassette. But with the brush, I actually found it a little difficult to get the drivetrain shining, so I had to find an old dishwashing brush to give it some help. I also need to do several rounds of spraying in order to remove all the black oil from the drivetrain. The garden hose is not included in the kit, but it's a useful addition after degreasing the cogs. The alcoholic cleaner is supposed to remove the residues of the degreaser. I needed a completely clean brush for this job, but luckily the included one was adequate. The whole thing is finished off with a supplied microfiber cloth. No problems encountered in that simple process. So, including the camera work, that took me exactly 30 minutes. So it's definitely possible to do this a lot quicker than what is said in the instructions. Now it is time to put on the waxed chain. So I already cut the pre-waxed chain to the right length. Now I'm gonna install it. Chain is looking really good, a little stiff as you would expect from a newly waxed chain. Now it's just a matter of testing the chain out in the field before we are gonna do a re-wax with the supplied heater. I did an easy 3-hour ride with a new chain and there was no surprises along the way. I ended up getting exactly what I would expect from a waxed chain. A smooth, silent and clean drivetrain. Cyclowax recommends waxing your new chain after the first ride, independent of the conditions. So let's get on with it. We take out the wax tablet and place it into the pot like this before we turn on the heat. We can see that it's preset to 95 degrees Celsius, which should be perfect. It's also nice to see that we get a real-time temperature display. Next up is threading the chain onto the wire and placing it on top of the wax tablet. It looks to me that this pot heats up a lot faster than the ceramic crockpot from my original setup. And as we can see, even before I've gotten my chain into the waxing pot, a lot of the tablet has become liquid already. I struggled a little bit with finding a good way to put the entire chain inside a small pot, but after a little bit of fiddling, I made it work. And while we wait for the wax to melt, we can talk about the design. In my opinion, one of the big advantages with this setup is the looks. For me, it's nice enough to be placed in a corner in my living room. I would guess that this makes the product appealing to people with limited space at home as well. Now that all the wax is melted, the instructions tells us to swish the chain inside the hot wax for 1 minute before taking it out. After that's done, it's just a matter of leaving it to dry and then installing the chain on the bike the same way as the first time. From now on, the interval for re-waxing should be 250 to 400 kilometers. You should also re-wax after every wet ride. So that's pretty much everything that's to it. After testing the Cyclowax starter kit for a few days, it's time to state the pros and cons of the product. The first obvious pro of the Cyclowax starter kit is that you get everything you need inside one box. In other words, there is no need for any DIY solutions. Another advantage is the small form factor and the great looks of the product. It is no problem in having this placed inside your home. With the pre-waxed chain, there is also no need to remove any factory grease. The dirty work is already done for you. And of course, you have all the usual advantages of a waxed chain. It stays clean and silent, and it also lasts for ages. Cyclowax claims a power saving of up to 10 watts compared to using traditional lubricants. I am not able to verify this, but according to the tests done by Zero Friction Cycling, this is a statement that could be totally reasonable. There is no getting away from that this kit is a little expensive. The prices are starting from 219 euros. However, from what you get in this very nice clean kit, I think it's worth it, especially considering that the chain is already waxed for you when you get the kit. First time waxing, I noticed that the pot was a little small and it's a little fiddly to get the whole chain inside when waxing. However, it was no problem in finding a technique to get the chain fully submerged in the wax. I was, however, a little surprised by the fact that Cyclowax only rates their 190 gram waxing tablet for 8 re-waxes, or 3,200 kilometers at best. For reference, Silka states that one bag of their wax will last 15,000 miles or 25,000 kilometers. Adjusted to the size of a Cyclowax tablet, that equals just under 10,000 kilometers, which is quite a lot more than what Cyclowax has to offer. So in the end, the DIY solution would definitely be a little bit cheaper, but it would require you to get the supplies from different locations and know exactly what you would need. With Cyclowax, you get a kit that is ready to go out of the box, and I think that this product could appeal to a lot of people that are overwhelmed by this whole chain waxing thing. In my opinion, Cyclowax has the potential to get more people start waxing their chain, and therefore they get my stamp of recommendation. That's it for yet another YouTube video. I hope you guys found it useful and interesting. If you did, please consider leaving a like and also hitting the subscribe button. I will see you guys in the next video. Ciao!